Now this is that One Piece that I love to see. A great blend of comedy, a great blend of backstories, new characters, the wacky and zaniness of the battles, but yet at the same time, it gets serious when it needs to. This One Piece episode 3D, or this special, shall I say, 3D2Y. Oh my gosh, I just felt like this is that One Piece that I love, and I, in a way, wish it would have been weekly, just so that way we could have, that split up and get a little bit more distance between the anime and manga, but I don't think it would have had as strong an impact had it been aired that way and not aired all as one collective, because, oh my gosh, it just felt like One Piece for the win, baby. Starting off with that Marineford flashback reminding us some of the greatest moments of One Piece and kind of rolling into what this story was going to be about, basically following up the events of what happened in Marineford, the training where Luffy had to, go and get stronger, the training period, so to speak, and, just going from that moment and then getting a little bit of a flashback of everybody's story once again. It was like reminding you why you love One Piece. I feel like the special was definitely in order, especially what the anime has been doing lately. It's kind of been like putting a lot of people off to the anime, but coming into this special, it was just like, oh my gosh, bringing back some of our favorite characters and just doing a lot of wacky, awesome One Piece stuff. Now, I'm glad that we got clarification as to when this took place. This was still 6 months prior to the return to Shibundi, so we can't say that for sure this was the peak of Luffy's strength when he fought World in this special. You can't argue, oh, this is how strong he could potentially be. No, because this was still 6 months before he mastered or even attempted to master any of the hockey. He was still very new to a lot of it. He was still very wet behind the ears to a lot of the hockey. So he was still getting up there. And the way the fights were structured with Luffy and World, it kind of reminded me a little bit of what happened in some of the other previous movies like World, where Luffy fights the villain, kind of gets fucked up and has to come back and overcome all. And ultimately just seeing it was just like, oh my gosh. We get to see the first glance of Red Hawk, and I think Luffy was surprised at that point. He was like, how the fuck did I do that? So we get a little bit of a glance of where it all began with that. We got a little bit of a glance of the first time he had even hockey on his forehead, the black thing on his forehead. So it was just like you're getting a first taste of everything before it even happened in New World, or the time skip for that matter. And I can't be the only one that was excited to see the return of Warlord Buggy and Boa Hancock. I was like, oh yes, the foreshadowing that they did with her with the clothing and stuff. I know it may seem very minor, and it's like, whatever, but just them doing little things like that, it kind of connects, like even small stuff with her making the clothing. Then when you see Luffy in the time skip, he has the fur hoodie and whatnot. So little connections like that connecting to the main story. I'm not 100% sure if this is supposed to be canon or whatnot to the main story. Ultimately, I would assume so, but then again, I don't want to kind of go that route. And then the next time Luffy sees Buggy, he's like, oh, I haven't seen you since Marineford. So I'm not 100% sure if it's canon or whatnot, but it should be because it fits perfectly and it gives a lot of explanations as to where certain abilities began. And just seeing some of the comedy with Buggy, once again, him being basically the Mr. Satan of One Piece, taking credit for everything, trying to put up this facade that he knows everything. He's like, yeah, man, I knew everything. This was all a part of my plan. I was just like, I missed this comedy. This was freaking gold. And it's like, oh my gosh, can we please get back to how One Piece used to be like this? I was like just excited at every twist and turn, just seeing the battles, the fights. Some of them were a little bit goofy, in particular, Bo Hancock versus that old lady that was trying to be on her level. It was like a lot of fan service in there, but it felt appropriate. It didn't feel like, I hate to bring it up, like that Rebecca fan service that is just like whatever. It's in the middle of a fight with this woman that's kind of jealous of her and trying to be on her level, and at the same time, Boa trying to use her powers, and it gave us some of those old fights as well, where a fight would consistently, you would go straight through the fight, it would be a nice long fight, you would get the depth of the battle, and ultimately it would be finished within it. It's like, I missed some of that as well, those Luffy's versus Rob Lucci, those type of battles, and we got some of that in this one. Some of them were wacky, again, in particular, the Boa versus that old lady trying to be young, but it was still entertaining nonetheless, and again, a full-on fight. And similar to somebody like Z from One Piece film Z, BrymdiWorld, you could definitely see he felt betrayed, he felt disgusted with the world, and I liked how his character at the very end kind of gave a little bit of a twist and turn. He was like, I don't give a fuck if it's been 30 years. To me, it was just like yesterday that my crew betrayed me and tried to fuck me over. And the relationship with him and his brother as well. If we didn't get that flashback, it would have just kind of felt stale, like, oh, you know, him and his brother have some weird relationship, but getting the full extent of that's not who BrymdiWorld is, and all along he was kind of bluffing in a way, and he was like, it's my turn to kind of tell a lie to you guys. It just felt very appropriate, and just, I'm glad there was more depth to him than just some random silly fuck. It was like, this is a guy that's been scorned, he's been lied to, and the art and animation in this one as well. I'm like, Toei, please, use the money that you used in something like this and take that same amount of money and put it into the One Piece anime now, because all the scenes, like when Luffy was fighting BrymdiWorld at the very end, the final fight that they had looked absolutely gorgeous with him using Gear Second, and just everything, Armament Hockey, everything looked absolutely beautiful with the art and animation, and I'm like, please bring some of that into the One Piece anime now, because it was just absolutely marvelous. You got Mihawk showing up, slicing the cannon in half. There was just so much great content with this 3D2Y. If you need to remember why you love One Piece, if you've been feeling a little bit like, the anime hasn't been all that, or, you know, the manga, you haven't been feeling the Tontaro stuff, then do yourself a service and go watch this 3D2Y, because it will truly remind you why you love One Piece, why One Piece is funny, why One Piece has depth to it, and overall, why One Piece is fucking amazing. And of course, I cannot skip talking about that final scene, which I found it to be interesting because I thought it was going to be the anime and it was going to be this big build-up, but I'm glad that they kind of connected the cover pages and how it was very vague with seeing the sake cups, where, you know, in the manga, we just saw the sake cups and it was just like a lot of people were speculating what was going on there, the 3 sake cups, but getting this special, getting that little fucking scene, it's crazy how that small scene with this one guy showing up and barely, you know, his face is shadowed out and everything, just truly is a lot larger than meets the eye. Overall, this was a great special of One Piece. I was just like flabbergasted at this only being a special. This should have been a fucking movie. I was just like, this is fucking awesome. So hands down, I gotta give this bad boy a 9.5 out of 10. Honestly, the only thing was maybe there was a couple scenes I felt a little bit too goofy, and a little bit of exposition on things I felt a little bit unnecessary, like kind of like the fodder people around and stuff like that. But as a whole, it was just absolutely crazy and insanity. And again, if you love One Piece and you kind of haven't been in the mood for it lately, watch this and I guarantee you will be like, I'm back on that One Piece boat, baby. But let me know what you thought of this special 3D2Y. What do you think about that final scene with seeing Sabo return? Manga readers, we've been knowing about this since like December of 2013, so we've been already in the loop of this, but the way they did it in the anime, I felt like it was just perfect. Honestly, I felt like it was perfect. It made it even bigger of an event than just, oh, it's popping up in the anime. It's like you got a whole special and then a big treat at the end of the special of Sabo's return, baby. Sabo is back. Oh my fucking god, I love this One Piece shit. And your overall thoughts of the special? Did you feel like it was that old One Piece feel where you would laugh and feel for the villains and feel for the characters and just all around get that One Piece vibe? But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that would be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.